to this computer. So yeah, here we are with the amazing Belinda Sasso on another episode of Representing the Workplace. She's currently a test engineer working at Sky, based at Leeds Dock. Today she's joining us to tell us about her career journey and her excellent experience. Thanks for coming, Belinda.
Hi, Jay.
Great. So yeah, you happy for us to jump straight into the questions?
Yeah, of course, go for it.
All right. We'll start with a light one then. What's your favorite thing that you've done in lockdown?
Let's see. I would have to say cooking lots of good food.
Okay.
Well, actually, my partner coming good food. Yeah, I think that being in lockdown, we've kind of gotten a bit more creative in the kitchen. Definitely been going for a bit more walks, and yeah, just having a nice easy time.
Okay. Brilliant. Brilliant. Anything specific that you've really got great at cooking?
Aki.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, so Aki was really good actually. I was
Oh, really?
surprised.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'm jealous. I've always wanted to try, but I've been too scared.
it's not that hard to be honest. I go.
You can send me a recipe after we've done
I
this.
really do.
Thank you. So yeah, now moving on to the more serious questions. My first one is, can you please tell me a bit about you and your journey to becoming a test engineer at Sky?
Yeah, sure, of course. So basically, I moved here about 9 years ago, and I had just graduated with a psychology degree, and I did not know what I wanted to do after that at that point because I knew, like, even though I had enjoyed it, I knew I didn't want to become a psychologist.
Okay.
So when I first moved over here, I took some time off to have a think about it. And my partner at the time was actually a contractor, and he used to bring a lot of work home. And he'd say, "Can you check this for me and make sure that it works as it's supposed to work?" And I really enjoyed doing it. I really enjoyed like finding all the little errors and being like, "Oh, this isn't working how it's supposed to work." And I got really into it. And basically, he said, "Oh, you'd make a really good software tester." And I said, "What? What is that?" And he said, "Oh, it's exactly what you're doing now." And so I researched it a bit more. I went and studied for the ICQB and took it on my own just to kind of, have a better understanding of it.
Yeah.
My first software testing job was at the Test People, which is currently called 1010. So yeah,
Okay.
that's a little recap of my journey.
Okay. Brilliant. And then was it from 1010 that you made the move over to Sky then?
So I did actually stop over at Skybet for I think it was around 2 years, and then
Okay.
with yourself as well in Sky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. And then so at Sky, did you say your job title was a test engineer at the moment?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Can you just tell me a bit about what a test engineer does for one, and then also what an average day as a test engineer looks like for you?
Sure, of course. So we do quite a lot of things, mainly communicating with the developers to make sure, well, the developers and the business analysts to make sure that the code that is being developed and the requirements that have been asked of us are developed correctly.
Okay.
We write automation tests. We organize a lot.
Yeah.
Day to day, no day is the same for me. So normally how I'd start my day is I'd come in, I'd look at what I haven't done from the previous day, try and organize myself,
Yeah. Okay.
meet a lot of people, and
Yeah.
then just try and organize what I was doing for that day.
Okay. I know you said something about automation and manual scripts. Has your time in testing always been a mix of automation and manual, or
Not
have
at
you
all.
picked? Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
it's fine.
No, Sky is actually the first place that I worked at where I've done quite a bit of automation. So
Okay,
most of my previous jobs were mainly manual, but coming to Sky, I've learned quite a bit of Java and JavaScript. So it's
okay,
a really good mix of manual and automation.
okay, fine. So after having a few manual roles, how did you find picking up the coding skills in Java, JavaScript, etc.?
It can be a bit challenging
Okay,
sometimes. Yeah, especially not coming from a technical background. I think that the first time around, I was testing Java with APIs, and because it's all backendy,
mm-hmm.
it's a bit hard you're not really things that you're testing. So I
Yeah.
did find that a bit difficult. Recently, we've been using JavaScript with Test Cafe, which I find a lot easier to use than Java, and it's all front end work as well. So I'm enjoying that a lot more.
Okay, brilliant. And how long did you say you've been testing? Sorry.
So over 5 years now.
Okay, fine. And then during that 5 years, what's been or what is your favorite thing about testing, or what's been your favorite thing?
My favorite thing is getting to speak to a lot of different people, getting to know a lot of different people. I love talking, I love communicating,
Yeah.
and every day is something different. You never go to work and have the same day twice. So I do love
Okay, fine. And then with regards to talking to different people, then, is that just a part of your job where you have to like speak to people on the phone or something, or is it more like cross teams or that kind of thing?
it. Yeah, cross teams. I would say a bit more. So we're talking about developers, business analysts,
Yeah.
just people within the business, just to kind of get the little bits of knowledge from everyone and put things together.
Yeah. Okay, fine. And I know earlier you said that it was working with your partner on some of his stuff that he was bringing home when he was contracting that brought you into testing. But was there anything else that made you think, wow, this is a great career path, or I really want to do this, etc.?
To be honest, I didn't even know about it at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I started doing it, I just found it so interesting, and that was it for me. Really, that was a light bulb moment.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I would really like to learn more about this.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit more about maybe like the training or skills that you had to learn like in the really early days of when you were testing me?
Boy, that feels like forever. The things that I thought were hard at the time were like, when I look at them now, it's quite basic. It was just understanding how to write test steps, understanding how to write test analysis and test criteria and things like that.
Yeah,
But what I would say to anyone who's interested in getting into the career is that the hardest part is getting your foot through the door and learning the basics. But once you start and once you go with it, it just comes really naturally after.
okay, cool, cool. And I know you said you did a sociology, not sociology, that's what I did, sorry, a psychology degree
Sociology and
back
psychology, yeah. Yeah.
back in the day. What did you think you were going to be doing 10 years ago?
You know what, to be honest, Jay, I wasn't entirely sure. I did think at one point when I went for the psychology degree that I was going to become a psychologist.
Okay.
And then after doing the degree, I thought, I'm not doing this. I don't think I can manage it. But
Fair enough.
yeah, so I definitely thought that psychology was where I was going at that point.
Okay. Were there any other career paths that you like tried and didn't really want to
Yeah.
continue with?
So when I was a lot younger, I had actually wanted to become a vet, and that was really what I wanted to do. And I did start taking the courses for it, but it just didn't work out. It just
Okay.
I actually started working in a veterinary clinic, and then after that experience, I thought, oh, maybe this is not the way to go.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
With
Uh,
animals.
cool. Have you got any animals now?
I have a cat. Yeah, he's 14 years old. His name
Oh,
is Trooper, and I brought him over from the States with me. And his name is Trooper because when I worked at the animal hospital, the one I was just telling you about,
yeah.
someone dropped him off as a patient, and he was actually hit by a car, and he had his leg broken for about a month and a half, and he was the happiest cat ever. So we call him Trooper because he's a real trooper.
That's lovely. Yeah. Personal story. I got a cat last week.
Oh,
We called him. Me and my girlfriend called him Leroy. Absolutely love him.
oh, congrats, Jay. You have to show me when you
I
get.
will. I'll send you a picture or two after. But yeah, I'd like to ask a few more questions, but these are more around like workplace culture, representation, things like that. So first one is when you're at work, who or what do you feel you represent?
I feel like I represent the quality assurance team, I would say. Also a little bit of the Caribbean side of things as well.
Okay, Fine. Okay. And through maybe the Caribbean side of things, then, are there any, or being a woman in tech, for example, are there any stereotypes or ideas that you feel that you've had to disprove in the workplace?
To be honest, I have not felt like that at Sky. So I
Okay.
don't feel like I've ever had to disprove anything. I don't feel like because of where I'm from or anything like that, that I've ever had to prove myself.
Okay.
I
That's
think
great.
everyone there has been really accepting and open, and they just kind of take you for how you work and your work ethic. So
Yeah. Okay. That's brilliant. Are there any hurdles that you felt you've had to overcome during your career journey so far?
yeah, I would say in the beginning of the journey, being a new tester, working for companies at Skybet, I do feel like I had to maybe go prove myself a little bit more. I do feel like things like proving your worth were a little bit harder. Maybe things like raises and justifying things like that. Sometimes you work with colleagues that you kind of, maybe might have worked a bit more than, but you were still on lower wages. So I do
Yeah.
feel like in the beginning of my career, there was a bit of a struggle with that, where I think now I feel a bit more comfortable.
Okay, fine. And is there anything that you did to help you overcome those struggles or hurdles at all?
What I would say is I started documenting a lot of things, started doing like courses on self-worth and just kind of helping to build my self-esteem, and just trying to kind of get that confidence that yes, I am worth this, and I'm not, sometimes you suffer from imposter syndrome,
Yeah,
especially starting off in the testing career. So it was just a matter of getting over those hurdles, and just recognizing that I am worth what it is that I set out to do, and I have worked really hard to be where I am right now. So
okay,
yeah.
brilliant. So if there was somebody watching this who was either an upcoming woman in tech or somebody thinking of making the move from the Caribbean over to the UK to pursue a career in technology, is there any advice or words that you'd give them?
Yeah, I would say definitely go for it. No, when I first started, and it was suggested that I got into testing, I thought I've never worked in technology. Had a lot of doubts, and I'm always so grateful and happy that I just kind of went for it. So I would say go for it, no matter what your doubts are. You can have a career in technology, and just believe in yourself. Study or do your research, and absolutely go for it.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. Um, And then, so what do you feel then are the fundamental parts of creating a inclusive workplace culture?
Yeah, I think some of the fundamental parts would be definitely having a voice, feeling valued from your employee, having a good learning and development scheme, and making sure that there is a collaborative environment.
Okay, fine. And is there anything that you suggest to make that can help make a more collaborative environment, or that you've seen create a more collaborative environment?
Yeah, I think that at Sky we do have quite a lot of forward-thinking developers and forward-thinking employees. So I think like hiring people that are not just stuck in the old way of doing things, and they want to kind of like make sure that the team is always inclusive and just take on new approaches, new ways of working, things like that.
Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Brilliant. And then I know you said, oh sorry, I know you said you've been at Sky for a while, and you're not in the market at the moment. But from what you've seen previously or seen now, is there anything you feel companies can do to make their recruitment processes better or more inclusive?
It's a little bit of a hard one because I haven't really been through a hiring process in a while, but I do think that um, from what I remember, when you're filling out like applications and things like that, they do ask for gender, they do ask for age, they do ask for, things like your ethnicity. Get rid of all of that, and then just kind of, have the CV there, have the conversation, but maybe not include all of those questions.
Yeah, okay. All right, fine. And then in terms of for you personally, or yeah, like previously, is there anything that you feel makes a company more attractive or less attractive in terms of inclusion and diversity?
I do think that the companies that go out of their way to have programs that have, you know, programs of inclusion and diversity are a lot more attractive.
Yeah.
So definitely, when you have those extra programs that, you know, that makes everybody feel included, I do think that that is a good sign of a good company.
Okay, that's brilliant, brilliant. And then I know you've already said some great things about Sky and the environment and the people there, but is there anything that they do particularly well that you feel helps create
Yeah,
an inclusive
absolutely.
culture?
I don't mean to be biased, but I do think that Sky does an amazing job. They have so many programs, like they have Getting to Tech for women who don't really have, who have little or no background in technology, but they want a chance. They have the grad schemes, they have the returners program, they have, you know, they host the code clubs. I do think that they do a really good job of having all these programs to help people that want to get into technology.
Okay,
Uh,
brilliant.
yeah.
Lovely, lovely. And then we've sailed through these. Last question then, Belinda.
No.
Are there any companies or organizations that you feel are doing great work in the community that you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, again, shout out to Sky because I think they're an amazing company and they do really well.
Yeah, okay. Brilliant. Anyone else like on grassroots or anything like that?
Yeah, Suman, Suman Bala, who's an amazing tester as well. I just
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
give her a little shout out to.
Okay. Brilliant, brilliant. Well, Belinda, unless you have any questions for me, thank you so much.
Yeah,
You've been an amazing guest.
thank
Thank
you.
you for the insight that you shared. And no doubt you'll be an inspiration to some, if not many people.
Thank you.
So yeah, thanks again. It's been wonderful.
Oh, really nice talking to you as well.
Thank you. Take care.
You too, Jay.